If you have watched any of my videos, you probably know that I am currently on a quest to hike all the trails in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and become a member of the 900 Miler Club, which celebrates those who have achieved this goal. For this trip, my route contains some of the last remaining unhiked trails east of the 441. Beginning at the Newfound Gap parking lot, I traveled 2.7 miles north on the AT, reaching the intersection with the Boulevard Trail, whereupon I returned 1 mile south before turning east on the Sweet Heifer Trail for 3.6 miles to reach Creek-Kephart Shelter. From the Creek-Kephart Shelter, I traveled 2.6 miles up the Grassy branch to reach the Dry Sluice Gap Trail and back to the shelter for the night. On day 2, I covered the remaining 2 miles of the Creek-Kephart Prong Trail to reach the trailhead on the 441 to catch a ride back to my car. Graybeard here for the Sylvan Reflections channel. We are here at Newfound Gap, as you can see. This is where President Roosevelt dedicated the park back in 1940, I believe it was. And it's from here that the Appalachian Trail crosses over. We're going to start on the Appalachian Trail heading northeast until we get to Sweet Heifer Trail. It's about a mile up. In a few days, we're going to be coming back and passing almost by the same point. But time to get started here. It's about 9 o'clock. As always, it's like an hour to 40 minutes later than you think, but time to get going. I thought that this time I'd do things a little differently. I'm going to be using my Salomon Ultra 04 trail shoes instead of my normal hiking boots. My pack is about 16 pounds, not including water. Oh no, not that heavy a load. Figured I'd try the trail shoes for the lighter hikes like this. This trail very quickly becomes like most of the others I've become accustomed to. You can see it's almost jagged. This is the perfect place. It's shaded, and if it's not cold, at least it's bordering on cool at the 5,000–6,000 foot level. Again, you'll start to notice a change in the vegetation, specifically the forest type, as we are edging into that closer and closer to that 6,000. We get more towards the spruce-fir forest with this little bit more open look. Very, very pretty. Oh, just looky here. You can see the blooms and the blossoms just getting ready to start. As I often allude to, it is much cooler at these higher elevations. I have a visceral hatred of hot weather, anything over 70s for me, and it's almost enough to make me stop backpacking altogether during the summer months. That is why I thank God for the mid 5,000 plus foot elevations of the Smoky Mountains. Temps there are usually fairly cool, or at least tolerable, with breezes and tremendous views. Gotta love the blackberry, both the flower and the fruit. Probably it's the smooth variety, as it's listed as the most common species in the Smokies.
Did I mention, for the last 2 or 3 minutes, we have been experiencing something that is always a delight. The first time in your hike that you actually get to go level or downhill. Invariably, I plan my hike so that I do the uphill climb at the beginning, get the hardcore distance and uphill, and then the second day is the easier and more downhill. Because here in the Smokies, it's hard to get all that many hikes where you're not having to go up and down a mountain. Slowly, yeah. We are already at that landmark we've been looking for 1.7 miles. Let's see here. Heifer Creek Trail. Yes, so 3.7 miles over to that. Meanwhile, Boulevard Trail in 1 mile. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and hit that Boulevard Trail on up to that, hit that and come back. That way, when I go hiking again in 4 days' time, I'm bringing a kid with me, and we're going to be coming down the Boulevard Trail, hit the AT, and then head up towards Peck's shelter. And I don't want to have to stop and make a mile down and back up, so I'll do it now and get that out of the way.
Here's the Clinton's lily, the one I used to confuse with ramps. Another flower enriching the forest floor with its luxuriant, wide, thick leaves of green, setting off the delightful splash of yellow petals and cinnamon-colored anthers. Even something so humble and unassuming as the moss, so ubiquitous at this elevation, when one takes the time to give it a slow and unhurried focus, an entire, unique world unfolds to the patient observer.
Here we are. I expect to be passing this very sign in 4 days' time.
We'll be coming in from the left, hitting the Appalachian Trail here. Turning left and heading northeast to the ice water shelter. Meanwhile, time for me to turn around and head to Heifer Trail.
And the Pocket Osmo 3, nice as it is not meant to be a really telephoto type of a camera. So, oh well. We are back at the intersection here between the Appalachian Trail and Heifer. We have, high 2000s, low 3000s foot elevation gain during this. That is pretty. As you may notice, the Heifer Trail is just a little bit overgrown. Kind of choked in here just a touch. Wow. Okay. I'm hoping it's just this open section where the sunlight's hitting, but still. I wanted to be a little extra careful about ticks. So I got some permethrin and sprayed the outside of my cuffs for my pants, the outside of the waistline, the outside of the collar, the top brim of my hat, and then let it dry out in the sun. The residue that it leaves behind on top is going to be something that the ticks don't like. So I think it's probably a wise precaution.
This mountain wood sorrel is often found at higher elevations with the acidic soils of the spruce-fir forest. While quite similar in appearance to spring beauties, the wood sorrel blooms in June and July, well after the spring beauties have gone. While the mountain wood fern and the intermediate wood fern look very much alike, I believe this is the mountain variety. I found the USDA database that says mountain wood ferns are at 5,500 feet and above in the Smokies, and that's the altitude at which I saw these ferns.
We have come to our first creek on the Heifer Creek trail. This is the Husky Creek. Not a big one, but if you were low on water, this might be just the ticket. That could easily fill you up.
I believe this is the Appalachian phlox, based on the altitude and the leaf and petal shape. Pretty as the flowers of the mountain meadow rue are, it is the soft green leaves with their graceful, gently defined lobes that I think I like most. Club mosses, like this flat branch tree variety, really help give a nice splash of green contrast against the darker browns of the tree trunks and forest floor.
Here's another one.
Thanks to the help from a college student on iNaturalist, I believe this to be the lesser purple-fringed orchid, since it has the 2 openings at the rostellum versus only 1 for the greater purple-fringed orchid.
We have a friend with us here today. There we go. Hey there, buddy. All right, he's going across in front. As you can tell, he's terribly phased. That's right. Yeah, I'm just going to go this way. I'm going to step up just a little bit. Yep, just me, right here. You may have guessed that these deer are somewhat, I don't know, would you say they're habituated maybe? Hi there, buddy. Oh, you can see the velvet on the antlers. Wow, this guy just cannot be bothered. All right, I'm just going to go past you. That's right, I'm just going to go past. That's all, just going past. Oh, you're going to come with me? Just a thought? Yeah. All right, enjoy. Okay, that made a nice, pleasant change of pace there, didn't it? Nice to know I'm not the only one hoofing it on the trail. Now, if we go over here, we have, sadly, a big slide or scree that took out everything here some time back. We are right here at the tributary coming down into Heifer Creek. I think we have a new flower. There it is.
This looks like the false bugbane to me. The clustered filament-like petals look like little cotton balls. They are indeed pretty.
Well, we are just about the halfway point here. We are at Heifer Creek, and right at the point where if you look up to the left, you'll be able to see Heifer Cascades. Oh my. There's a beautiful, cool breeze, which turns us from heifer into sweet heifer. Look at this. Mountain laurel are in bloom. Oh, good. I was hoping we'd get some. Beautiful little flowers, aren't they?
Venus's Pride is one of several types of bluets found in the Smokies.
This is the white bergamot.
The symmetry of the white bergamot's intricate angular structure makes it look just like an outward-facing circle of pure white praying mantises.
Well, that's kind of pretty, isn't it?
Very, very nice. These are the ghost pipe flowers, a really cool flower that has no chlorophyll because it is parasitic. According to the U.S. Forest Service, the ghost pipe takes the mycorrhizae fungus, normally a mutualist to plant roots, and uses it as an intermediate to sap the nutrients from the tree roots.
And we also have some bear corn or squaw root.
Another parasite, but this one has a special affinity for the beech and oak trees.
It has gotten a lot warmer as we've come down in altitude, but we are at a major landmark here on the Heifer Trail. Creek-Kephart Prong shelter. That is beautiful. But we are going to continue. Okay. You see the typical shelter. Yeah, water source indeed. Okay, cool deal. Take a break. Okay, just gonna leave the shelter here. Do that quick 2.6 up and 2.6 down.
As you can see, that's 5.2 miles gaining, then losing 2,000 feet. That's going to push me a bit.
See if we can make it back before nightfall. And fortunately, so let's go ahead and do the Grassy branch and hit our way back very quickly.
I'm not sure, but this looks like the honey fungus. Cool fungus.
How can you not love that? That is a cool looking leaf. We've got a lot of wild hydrangea blooming on this hillside. Oh boy, here and finally this one's blooming. Just beautiful, beautiful.
This is Hydrophyllum canadense, another new flower for me, to the best of my knowledge. It is in the waterleaf group. Some of the common names for this one are broadleaf waterleaf, bluntleaf waterleaf, or Canada waterleaf. Evidently, having flowers below the big leaves is key to its identification.
Some type of coral fungus, I think.
Looks like the Russula genus. I'm not sure if it's Zarampelina, the shrimp mushroom, or Emetica, the cygner. Either way, it's a pretty cool shade of red. This is red elderberry. Pretty but poisonous when raw. To be safe, I would not eat it cooked or raw. From some beautiful, yet sadly out of focus, wild hydrangea to an enchanting cascading stream, the Smokies is always producing the most sublime and restful beauty to behold. Finally, I've reached the Dry Sluice Gap Trail. The Gaia GPS map shows no access next to it, but I'm guessing that it doesn't mean that it's closed, so I'll have to come back up here and hike it sometime soon.
It goes to the left all the way up to the AT, 1.3 miles, and all the way to the right down to the Smokemont campground. I think it hits Bradley Fork or something like that. So,
guess I'd better start heading down.
Took me an hour and 45 to get up here. Some sixth sense tells me I'm gonna make it down in less than an hour 45. I'd say maybe an hour 15, hour 20, because I don't want to go too fast. As you can see, I am back down at the shelter. And not knowing just how long it was going to take me, I kind of cooked it up and back. See, it is 7:45 when I made it back, so not too bad. I'm going to recoup, rest, drink, then if I have time, eat. So we'll catch you in a bit.
For those of you that have experienced the first glimmer of morning light in the solitude of a Sylvan cathedral, you know the deep and incomparable peace that only that experience can provide. Speaking of morning light, there is nothing in life I want more than to really see the gleams of the golden morning. But that is an exciting story for another time.
Well, as you can see, I'm right here at the crossroads to the Grassy branch trail and the sweat heifer right where the shelter is. So just now leaving the shelter, a little after 8. Took a leisurely time, as you saw from breakfast. And now I'm heading on down to the 441. It was my plan originally to just catch a ride down there. Hiking up that grassy branch, I got up high enough that I got signal on my phone. I got a call from my parents, and they said, "Hey, we're heading out that way tomorrow anyway. You want to ride?" I thought, who am I to turn down a ride? Especially when I get a chance to be with my parents. So they will be meeting me down there. I think they're expecting me at 11, but that's all right. I'll just be relaxed and enjoy the walk and not have to rush for once. I never tire of these bridges and how well they fit the aesthetics. All right, time for our obligatory upstream look. I'd say that's worth it.
More wild hydrangea, this time with somewhat better focus. Such beautiful, wide, almost heart-like serrated leaves with the tremendous spray of white. Yes, one last log bridge before reaching the 441. According to the Little Brown Book, Hiking Trails of the Smokies, the Champion Fiber Company built a narrow-gauge rail line up here in the 1920s to support their logging efforts. I'm guessing this is left over from that rail line.
Oh, wow, that's quite a crossing. And no footbridge. Oh, wait. Yes, footbridge. This one I absolutely had to come back for. Look at all those little waterfalls. Well, that makes an interesting little landmark.
The Little Brown Book, Hiking Trails of the Smokies, says there was a Civilian Conservation Corps camp for conscientious objectors from 1933 to 1942. Looks like this was the camp they described.
Well, we have finally reached that point. We are at the end of the hike, as you can hear from the road noises probably. And very soon here, yes, the big bridge. We are now at the 441. We are finally at the end of the hike. I want to thank you for allowing me to share this with you. Please share this with others if there's someone you know that would like this. Thank you for being with me on this hike. For the Sylvan Reflections channel, this is Graybeard. See you on the next one.
If you like this video, please consider clicking the like, subscribe, and notification bell.